I have decided to live a more minimal lifestyle, and not in a trendy way, but actually in a way that makes me feel farther from the internet altogether. I have been planning to move cross country for quite a long time now, and last fall I thought it was time. So much so that I packed everything that I didn't use every day into boxes. But that season came and went, along with 3 other seasons, and I was still unhappily in my hometown. A quick bit of personal background that I think will further the story. I have always been a pretty sad person. I struggle big time with depression, and circumstantially, my life has taken a pretty steep nosedive in the last couple years. And it was actually feeling this low that incidentally led me to embracing minimalism. After thinking I was going to move and then not, I felt called to open all of my boxes and see if I could consolidate, and I ended up opening, reopening, and getting rid of about a quarter of all of my belongings. I used to be a real big trinket girl.
My trinkets. Another box for my trinkets. What's going on?
I love shiny little knickknacks and decor that fit my aesthetic. But I realized that I'd spent the last 10 years collecting these things for a home that I didn't have and a lifestyle that I wasn't living. I didn't have a settled house of my own to spread out in, and they just felt more and more like objects taking up space. Clothing is probably the biggest purge that I've undertaken. I follow Marie Kondo's technique of really feeling what an item means to me when deciding whether or not to let it go. No more waiting around for a 24-inch waist that I didn't have. It was time to really be honest with what didn't fit. I ended up clearing out a shocking amount of clothing. I just can't believe how much clothes I had shoved into my closet and my drawers that I had just never worn, didn't feel good in, or just didn't need anymore. And every time that I haul another bag of clothing out of my room, it feels good. It just feels better to have less things. This has been ongoing for weeks and weeks, and I feel like every day I feel more and more ready to let something go, and so I'll just go through my closet again and get rid of another bag. The sentimental clutter was probably the toughest to part with, mainly toys and stuffed animals from my childhood. Now, at this point, I was still very much in a deep state of existential turmoil and pain. And the decluttering was a way for me to physically signal to both myself and the universe that I was ready to change. I was ready for my life to change. But at the same time, even though this was good, every time I let something go, it felt like I was preparing for the end. Like I was packing up and getting ready to say goodbye to my entire world. Which in a way I was. Honestly, I really hoped I was. I have no interest in continuing my life as it is. Something has to change. Another thing that called me to this great material purge was the feeling of fear I would get when deciding whether or not to keep something. What if I need it later? What if I regret this? It forced me to confront these feelings of scarcity and challenge them by trusting that I do have enough. I have more than enough, even with less. The fact that it scared me was even more reason to do it. Reaching that moment where an object is in my hand and I'm having a tough time releasing it, I kind of know that it's time to let it go, is exactly the kind of situation that I need to be facing. Because if I can learn to do it with physical objects, maybe I can learn to be better at it with ideas and expectations and situations. The decluttering phase is a crucial step, and it does feel really good. But keeping it that way after the fact is key. To not immediately replace your things with more things, but to appreciate more what I have. Environmentally speaking, about 90% of my wardrobe is either handed down or thrifted, which in theory is great, but the amount of things that I had, just no person needs that many clothes. And my thrifting as a hobby was sucking my money and my space. And also I like being able to actually wear everything that I own and also fit it into my closet reasonably. There is something to be said for having like special occasion outfits, but it's okay to go ahead and yeet the stuff that you only see yourself wearing in some future situation that hasn't happened and you don't immediately see happening. So I highly encourage everyone to do this. And so here's some tips if you're getting rid of things. Step 1, be brave. You may be faced with items that hold either good or uncomfortable memories. It's okay to let them go. You might even find that the object itself isn't holding the negative emotions, but you are. And by letting go of the object, it will help you move on. It's also okay to start small, do a little bit at a time. Step 2, be honest. Stop waiting around for the body that you have to be different so you can fit into certain clothes. It might be cute, but really uncomfortable. It might have been expensive or a gift, but you just don't feel good when you're wearing it. Also, I recommend donating to a homeless shelter or an actual foundation because most clothing that gets donated to like Goodwill or those drop boxes ends up in the trash. Step 3, keep it that way. There are enough clothes on the planet to cover the next 6 generations, okay? We're good. We're good. You can stop. You can stop buying clothes. It's okay. If you do keep shopping though, consider thrifting. There's good sites online for secondhand clothing and also plenty of stores in person. If you want a new outfit, I suggest doing a clothing swap with your friends. I just did one and it was great. That way you can walk away with a new outfit, but it's free and it exposes you to some more interesting personal styles that you may not have thought of. I am by no means a full minimalist. I still very much enjoy my stuff and my things. But every day I feel more and more ready to let more things go. And increasing the clarity in my physical space, I hope will help me also gain some more clarity in my mental space. It makes traveling, moving, and living a lot easier. And I genuinely hope that you feel inspired to do the same. This world feels very corrupted by consumerism, and I hope that you make some conscious choices to really evaluate what you need in life. And I think you'll realize that it's much less than you think. You've just been trained to desire material belongings. Let's all step into a new era for ourselves and clear out the old. As humans, I feel like it's helpful to have a physical representation of something that you're doing either spiritually or mentally. And so, what better way to get rid of the past than physically getting rid of items from your past?
So thank you for watching. I'm continuing my journey to minimalism. And also if you're watching this on May 1st, if I even posted on May 1st, happy Beltane. The season of summer and the sun is upon us.
I don't really know how to do these outros.